Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. This is Marnie. I am here today with our special guest, Ronke Taiwo, and we're going to be talking about intrinsic motivation, a leadership training segment. Welcome to you. Buckle up because during this next little while, Ronke's going to share with us 5 ways to lead from the inside out, also 4 simple strategies to grow your self confidence. 8 self-mastery secrets to achieving peak performance. And you can get to know Ronke better over at her website, ronketaiwo.com. But she is a speaker, life coach, and pastor's wife whose practical insights combined with real life stories inspire, excite, and encourage women to believe God, love themselves, and love others. Again, you can learn more about her over at ronketaiwo.com, or you can invite her to speak via womenspeakers.com. So excited to have you here with us, Ronke.
Hello, good to see you. Good to see you, Manny.
It's great to see you
um,
too.
yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity and I really love what you do. And I just want to appreciate you publicly for that. You
Uh,
have you have been doing this for years and thank you for encouraging women everywhere.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, I know you live in Canada and you have an accent, so tell us where you're from.
Okay, yeah, the accent will always show. I'm actually originally from Nigeria. That's somewhere in West Africa. I know many people. Nigeria is actually a popular country in Africa. Yeah, so I was born there, grew up there, did my life there until I moved to Canada about 3 years ago. That was 2019. So now I'm in Canada fully, but I was
Oh,
from Nigeria.
that's so awesome. And you guys are pastoring a church there.
Yes, we are God's Family Church. It was just a vision God gave to us. And
Mm,
as soon as we came into Canada, we started running with it. Yeah. My husband pastors the church, and I'm beside him, helping him and
sure.
doing all I can to just make the work prosper. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to have you here to talk about intrinsic motivation. And we're going to cover
Yeah.
kind of a lot of ground during this next 45 minutes or so. So I want to dive right in. And you wanted to start us off with 5 ways to lead from the inside out. So as we go, I'm going to have you share a couple, then we'll chat about it, and then we'll move on from there. So, what is your first key, your first way?
Okay, I will say the first one is self discovery because I tell people you can't lead others if you have not yet known yourself. If you have not yet known, okay, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the areas I'm more gifted for? Or, where can I fit in the piece? Because leadership is not just about staying somewhere and just calling the shots and telling people do everything.
Right.
I'm not doing anything. It's about leading by example. So how can you be an example if you really don't know who you are? So it takes time. It's just for you to discover yourself, go inside. We talk about SWOT analysis. Pardon me, when we talk about leadership issues, what are my strengths as a person? What are my weaknesses? What are my opportunities? What are my threats? People say, oh, there are some people that are born leaders. Probably they are, choleric. They know how to go about everything. But I just say, no, if you discover yourself, you know how you can lead. Anybody can lead. An introvert can lead. An extrovert can lead. But you have to discover, okay, where do I fit into the pills? How do I lead in my own style? And you can't do this without discovering yourself. And when we talk about self discovery, sometimes you have to go above yourself to God. I never knew when I was young, I was a shy person. Now I speak with so much power, authority, just because I had a word about it. God told me, oh, I was going to use you were going to speak. And I'm like, I'm shy. So, like,
How's it going to work?
how is it going to work?
Yeah.
But that pushed me to really look within myself. Okay, what can I do? In what ways? And I started practicing little by little. I started talking to friends, doing, and people were like, oh, I love the way you talk. I love the way I love your energy and everything. And it became something I did more. So for in my own area, in that area, I believe God helped me by leading me and telling me this is what you can do. Because sometimes you just so many, you are boxed. Like I said, I grew up in Nigeria, in Africa, as a woman. There are so many boxes that you have been put to. You are brought up to know, like, to know that you don't have a say. You are brought up to say, oh, you are just supposed to be behind, or just hiding behind somebody, and your greatest achievement was to just get married and give birth to kids. But as God gave me that, I started going within myself to see, okay, what can I do better? So I don't know if anybody is watching us and you are thinking, I don't even think I can do anything. Why don't you go within yourself? Try to look at it. What are the things I can do? What are my gifts? What are the things that makes me excited when I want to do it? Then lastly, what is God saying to me? What are the words he has ever given to me? What have I maybe learned that I could do, or what have I dreamt of doing, even though I'm not sure how to go about it. So
Mhm.
let me just go to the second one, or do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think I do want to
Self-discovery.
jump in for just a
Yeah.
second because I feel like what you said is so true that everybody's everybody's actually leading someone, even if it's a niece or
Yeah.
a nephew. There's
Mm.
someone watching you. And
Mm.
you are actually leading. So to say I don't have a big leadership skill isn't really accurate. What you're
Yeah.
saying is that you aren't called to work in a position of
Mm.
leadership, like where someone else acknowledges that. But everybody's a leader. And I love that you say that. And then also, I loved how you said that God told you, even though you're shy, I'm
Mm.
going to use you in this way.
Yeah.
Just because you feel like maybe you don't have it, it doesn't mean God can't give it to you.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so number 2 is about courage.
Yeah, you just have to, like I said, you just have to develop that courage. You just have to go over what you feel you can do. When we talk about leadership, it actually has to do with courage. It's about, oh, can I do this? I've spoken with some people, maybe women who are expecting a baby. They have so much fear, and like, am I
Right,
going to raise somebody else? And I'm like,
right,
you just have to build the courage, and you'll be able to
right.
do it. And maybe three children after, they're experts, they're even telling other people, oh, do it this way, do it that way, and you can't actually compare that person to the
Right.
person so how do you build your courage? By going out and doing it. When you do something, when you do it for the first time, it might be strange, it might be, but just keep doing it. Where do you think you can fit? What do you think you can do? Like you said, you can lead in any way. You can lead by, oh, guiding your nieces, your nephews, working somewhere and being in charge of somebody. You just have to take the steps. And as you do that, your courage will build, because practice makes you get better at doing it. And when you build courage, it helps you to develop your strength. Where you focus on the areas. The problem we have with many people is that we are worried about what we cannot do, and we don't
Right.
focus on what we can do. So instead of worrying about, oh, I can't really do this, I'm not so good with this, why don't you focus on what you can really do and actually do it better, and do it so well that you become the best in that area, because you were naturally gifted for it. So I think are the ways we can actually build our courage. Number one, but by taking a step. Number two, by focusing on the strengths that God has given us, instead of just worrying about the things we cannot do.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. So number 3 then.
Okay, then influence. Like I said, leadership is all about influence. And we can only achieve this by really caring about
Mm,
other people, by really showing love. You see, people don't really want to people don't care about you until they know how much you care.
right.
They don't they don't think of you, they don't want to have anything to do with you. But when they know you really care, there's a part of their hearts that opens up to you, and you can actually influence them. I
Mhm.
believe leadership is really influence. Leadership is really wherever you are, influencing other people to be better, influencing other people to do good. When people see your life or see what you do, they are challenged and say, oh, I can do this. So, and we can't achieve that by not showing love. You can't get to influence people. People might do what you say based on your position. They might
Right.
know, oh, this person is my boss, I have to listen to her, or this person is my boss, I have to do whatever she says. But the fact is that when you truly care, subconsciously they just want to do They just want to follow you. They want to follow what you are saying. They want to do what you say. Why? Because they know you actually care about them and you love them. So I believe that the biggest way by which we can achieve influence, and the quickest, no, not really the quickest, but it's the way that you can last long, is when you love. Yeah, you could use force and achieve cooperation very fast,
Temporary,
but
right.
love can take time. It takes time
Mhm.
for the person to even know you love them. It takes time for them to open up to you and everything. But at the end of the day, it's an influence that lasts a long time. That even when you are gone, people are still talking about you. That, oh, this person truly loved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love that, and it's so different. It's how Jesus did it really when he came.
yeah.
He Yeah,
Mm,
he told them what to do, but he did it in such a loving way, and he lived with them, shared
mm,
his life with them, and
mm.
modeled God's love for
Yeah.
us. I just think that's so cool. The 4th one is about challenging others then.
Yeah, challenging others is that when you have gotten to a place where you have built trust, where other people can actually trust you, they can look up to you, they believe in you, then you can challenge them. You can, give them things to do. You can tell them you can do it. You can encourage them. You can motivate them. You can be there for them. And, even when they are confused, you can be there to listen to them. So when you get to that stage, you already have an open door into the life of maybe that person or a set of people. Then you can take it to the next level to challenge them to be better, because leadership is about taking people from a place to a better place, depending on wherever that is. Where you might be leading in the work, you want them to achieve better. You are leading in the church, you want their spiritual life to get better. You want them to build a relationship with Jesus. You are leading children, you want them to learn, you want them to speak well, you want them to understand. You can be a teacher, but the fact is that you have to challenge them and let them know they can do better. And when we look at it, that is why teachers are widely celebrated today, because when you hear a lot of testimonies, people say, oh, I didn't even know I could do it until I met a teacher, and the teacher told me you
Right.
can actually do it. And they try it and they do it. So when we talk about challenging, is about taking the step, not just stopping and loving them and probably feeding them and probably just babying them and petting them. No, you have to go to
Mhm.
the next level and actually pull them up. Pull them up and let them walk too. Pull them up to a place where they are not just dependent on you. Because another thing that if we don't take time as leaders, is that we make people totally dependent on us, and they can't take steps, they can't move, they are just looking. It just reminds me of the story of Peter and John at the beautiful gates. The man was looking up to them, not because he wanted to walk, he wanted to get something from them, he wanted handout. It was that was what he lived on, getting handouts from people. And when he looked at them with the idea that, I want to get something from you. Do you have money to give me? Maybe a loony there, a toonie there, that you can give to me. But Peter and John told him, no, we've not come here to give you. We have something better than we can give you. And they pulled him up, and he was able to walk. Now he has better opportunities to walk and do better things. So when it comes to challenging, it's more like you are pulling people up to take a step.
Mm.
You are not just leading them and staying there and just leaving them, but you are pulling them, let them march and take a step.
I
Yeah.
love that. I have this picture that I use sometimes on my website and in social media
Okay.
where it's the side of a mountain and it's quite a steep climb up that mountain. And that I get to be sometimes the leader at the top with the rope. And then there's people trying to get up to where God's already taken me. That's kind of
Yeah.
what a leader is. It's a mentor
Mm,
who's they're helping you get where they already are, helping you understand what they already know, like that. And it's not like I mean, I have mentors too, and so do you. Everybody should
yeah.
have people who are also feeding into us.
Yeah.
And then if we all keep doing that, that's such a great way for us to lift up each other. And I had a pastor one time, he had a vision, and he said he saw me and I was
Oh,
pulling women
beautiful.
up, but there were some women who were trying to knock them down. And that's the reality of
Oh,
life too, isn't it? That
yeah.
sometimes when you're being lifted up to a new level, when you're working
Mm,
toward that, there's someone who maybe doesn't want to see you go up there. And that's where that courage
mm,
piece comes in. You're going to
mm,
have to just believe what God says about you, what God's calling you to do, and step
mhm,
out and let someone help you go up, even when others are maybe not wanting you to go up or wanting you to fall down. So
mm,
remember what Jesus says about you. So the
yeah.
fifth thing, then we have ways to lead from the inside out. This is like,
Then I think the
do
fifth
it.
step, just do it. Yeah, simple. That's number five. Just lead. You know, you've discovered yourself. You are building courage every day. You are influencing others. You are challenging others. Then just lead. Be
Do
an
it.
example. Be a mentor like Marnie. Pull people up the mountain. There are a lot of people, down on the valley looking up and wondering how did people get there. Some of them are even saying it derogatorily, like, are you sure? Are you sure it was not an airplane that took them there? Are you sure they did are you sure they did the hard work, or, they just found themselves there? So there are many people looking up to us in wherever we might find ourselves,
Right.
and we can just do it and lead.
I
Yeah.
really love that story of Peter and John too standing, and the
Yeah.
man didn't even know that they had the
Mm,
potential of helping him to walk. All he'd
yeah.
ever done was beg to just get through the day, just get through the
Yeah.
day, just get through
Yeah.
the day, a couple more
Mm,
dollars. But
mm.
when they came, they gave him they pulled him up. It's that
Up.
same picture again.
Yeah.
They pulled him
Put
up
him up.
to a new level. And
Mm,
that's what a godly leader is always about, is taking you to the
yeah.
next level with Jesus,
Mm,
whatever that
mm,
is for you. And it's different for everybody. We're going to spend
mm.
a couple of minutes here talking about strategies to help you grow in your self-confidence. And one of the things that I had found, it shocked me, Ronke, when I first saw it. It was in
Okay.
Proverbs, and I was reading in the Amplified Bible. And
Mm-hmm.
every time the Bible said the word self-confident, in the Amplified Bible, it said the word fool after it. The
Wow.
self-confident fool. And
Wow.
so we have to
Mm,
distinguish between
yeah.
the confidence that's coming from Christ, that's in
Right.
ourselves,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and the confidence that we're building up by
Up
telling
by
ourselves
just ourselves.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
There's two
mm,
different things going on here. And as we're
mm.
talking now in this next little section, we're talking about the confidence that you can have in Christ,
Yeah.
that he has created you to do
In you.
everything he
Everything.
created you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everything, but everything he
Mm,
created you to do, you can do through him. That
mm,
kind of confidence.
mm,
So what's the
mm.
first strategy?
Yeah, I would say I'll go about believing in yourself again. Like I mentioned when I talk about five ways to lead yourself, like when you try to discover yourself, when you discover what are the strengths God has given me, you have to take another steps, believing that, oh, this thing can be put to use. I can actually
Mhm.
use them. Like I said, when I was young, I was very shy. I was somebody who didn't want to be in the limelight. I just didn't want to show, even though God was pushing me into that. So I had to get to a stage where I started believing in myself that, oh, with God's help, I can actually do it, because there's a level of confidence in this. Let me just say, having faith. When we say confidence, it's like you are having faith that, oh, with God on my side, I can actually do this. Because if you don't really have faith, you can't actually take a step. You can't do what. So believing in yourself is that, okay, what are the gifts God has given to me? In what areas can I use this gift? And how much do I believe that I can use it? And when you can actually, go that step and say, oh, I believe that, oh, God has given me this. I believe that God is calling me to this. I believe that I can do this. I once met a young girl who just told me, oh, she believes she was called to children, that in her lifetime she would influence 1 million children. Even I was scared on her behalf. I was like, where would you get 1 million children? I looked at her life, I looked at everything. I was like, where do you want to start? But she was so confident about it, because she said, it's not my dream. It's not something I just thought of. It was
Right.
something I believe God is leading me to do.
Right.
And if I don't believe I can do it, I can't. Even though
Right.
God wants me to, it won't come down and carry me up and take me there. It can just let me know this is what I want you to do and
Mhm.
link me with other people. So believing that you in yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, you cannot be confident. And there's a level of confidence you need to pass across a message. There's a level of confidence you need to let people know that, oh, this thing I'm giving you is the real deal. If you get a salesman comes to your house and is stuttering and moving his lip like, yeah, I think it's a good product. Yeah, I think you won't buy the product because you're like, even you are not sure of your product, so I won't buy it from you. So
Mhm.
you actually need that level, knowing that, of course, not just that, oh, I'm just believing in myself, I can do it without any help. No, but actually believing that what God has put inside of you, you can
Right.
actually use it to help others. Yeah.
Yeah. It's self-confidence, but it's really God confidence.
God,
It's and
thank
that's what it
you.
is.
God
Yeah.
confidence.
And
Yeah.
yet each of us has to do it ourselves. You can't do it for
Yeah.
me and I can't do it for you.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. So that it's so right to call it self-confidence. So one of the things you tell us then, one of the
Mm,
strategies is to kind
yeah.
of break it apart a little bit, to look at the
Okay.
pieces.
Yeah. Okay. When let me just go to the second one, that you have to look the part. You have to take, when I talk about breaking the pieces, the parts, and just fitting it together, is like you have to get to a stage where you, like I said, you have to try it out. You have to, go out and do it. You have to believe you can do it. Dress the parts,
Mhm.
look the parts, let everything around you bring out the confidence even though you are scared. That I tell people, there's no dream God has given you, there's no gift you have, there's still a level of fear you feel at the point of delivery. Because I'm a public speaker, I've spoken in many stages over the years, so many places, I speak a lot. Do you know, the more I speak, the more scared I am when I'm about to go out. There's still that, I don't know, even today, there's still that tiny bit of, oh, I hope I
Mhm.
can do it. And I'm like, oh, God, just help me. And when you look at it, you could have just asked yourself that I've been doing this for years. Why do I
Right.
still have that, piece of fear that, oh, could I just take it? So if I can have it, how much more somebody that is just even starting out with whatever they
Right.
want to do? So, just taking the step, looking the
Mhm.
part, going ahead, like you can do it, then you are able to do it. I remember the story as I'm talking. I remember the story of David and Goliath is one of the favorite stories in my house. My children loves it. When we tell them Bible story, they will tell their dad, "Acts like Goliath, and we'll throw you down." And it's just, it's just a very, very interesting story. And before David actually threw the stone, he started speaking. He started talking. He started acting the part. He didn't have anything. He didn't have a sword or anything. But he told him, I will cut your head. I'll give it to the birds of the air because God is with me. I can, and in my mind, I'm like, this young boy, where did he get the confidence? Is it in
Right.
the stone he was holding? Definitely not. Who would think throwing a stone will kill somebody? But he was able to, before he even acted it out, he was able to speak it out. He was able to. So when we say look the part, it talks about, okay, confessing it, praying about it, talking to people that can help, because you can talk to some people and they put the water on the fire. You're trying to ignite a fire, you talk to people and they just pour water on it. Like, you can't do that. Why bother
Right.
yourself? But talking to people that can, help you bring it out, and things like that. So if you can do all those, it helps you to fit it into that part, and you'll be able to achieve it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I really love it. I was thinking
Mm.
as you were talking about Olympians
Yeah.
who spend their whole lives
Mm.
training for
Yeah.
this moment.
Just
And
one moment.
if
Yeah.
you don't think they're nervous when they go to do that, you're wrong. They are. Even
They
though they've
are.
spent their whole lives, sometimes
Mm.
8 hours a day practicing
Mm.
and preparing, for
Wow.
that one moment, but they're
Mm.
nervous too. So, don't let that hold you back.
You back.
And like you said, but part of that practice time that you've got
Mm.
there is preparing you, so when it comes time to
Mm.
actually do it, you're ready.
You are ready.
I love that. I love that. So number 3 is focusing and amplifying your strengths.
Yeah, like I'm a proponent of that, because one thing I believe strongly, like I always talk about, you know, amplifying your strength, working on it. Because I just believe you came to this world, you didn't pay for it, you didn't buy it, and you just notice there are some things you find easy to do. Is that not a message saying that focus on these things? If they are just, it's just people who sing. Majority of course, after the fact, they get voice coaches and everything, but there was a talent that they didn't buy. God just put it in them. So
Mhm.
if you can notice that and feel, oh, this is a good talent I have, how can I actually amplify it? How can I bring it up to, to help others? Because we are always beautiful in the place of our gifting. We look amazing. If you see an Olympian running maybe the 100 meters race, they look beautiful. Even though they're all sweaty, the
Right.
ladies have, the ladies have a lot of muscles based on the fact that, but at that point of doing what they love, there's a glory that comes out of it that makes them look beautiful, and you're like, wow. Even though they are sweaty, even though they are not looking, they're like, their faces are not smiling, they are really running their hearts out, but at that point they look beautiful, and it be, there's a slang, they, I think, was it the Spanish people, I'm not so sure, like something like ole, when people are presenting, they say something like ole, and they said they got it from the word that they mean God, a word that means God. So when people are presenting and they just see that, oh, this person has gotten to a crescendo that looks out of this world, then they start shouting ole, that like God has taken over. This is not you again.
Right.
Like God. So at that point, you just see like, oh, things just change. The atmosphere change because there's something about that gift that God
Mhm.
has given to you that when you actually bring it out, you are beautiful no matter what it is. Probably is a gift of taking care of children, of cooking.
Right.
At that point, if you are even gifted to cook, at that point with your apron sweating, you are beautiful because you are doing what you love. Your face is smiling. You are excited because this is not just something I'm doing. This is something I believe that God has given to me. It wasn't something I purchased. I didn't go to a class and they taught me 7 steps of how to smile. If I know how to smile, you are just so I actually, you can see that it was in almost the topic I talked about, it was there. Because if we can actually discover those gifts and we can actually, amplify them, use them, and let me just say deploy them in various places, then it will help us to fulfill what God has. It will help us to be confident because in the place of your gifting, you are confident because it's something you know how to do. So, so you are confident in that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I really love that, to really step fully into who God created you to be, and then to
yeah.
release that, and to,
Mm,
develop it, let him develop it, of course. But
yeah.
just to really enjoy being there, to enjoy doing what he's
Yeah.
called you to do. One of the
Mm.
things, the last thing on this one then that you talk about, is going ahead and keep on learning. Don't stop.
Oh my, you can't stop learning. You can't stop learning. There's something about learning that earns you a place amongst champions. I will just share my personal, I like to share stories a lot. So from time to time, I'll just share my personal stories and insight because I just believe people can actually learn when they know that you have gone through something before. Like I said, I was a very shy person. I didn't talk and everything. But I believe that when God put his spotlight on me and I knew there were a lot of things I would do for God, I started reading widely. I started learning. So I got a voracious appetite for reading. I would read books, books that talk about the mind, book that talks about the spirit, spiritual ideas from other authors, the Bible. I just started reading, but there was no place I was bringing it out to. I was just using it to feed
Sure.
myself, and I was so excited about it. So there was a day we had a program. It was not even a Christian program. That's just the funny thing. It was just then I was in university. I think they call it college, yeah. And I was I was I was in a program. It was just a program, like some people put themselves together, or intellectual group, something like a motivational program, talking about this, and students do a lot of those things. So I was in the program. I was not seated. I was not supposed to speak. I was not seated there. I was just seated in the audience. So it was like a discussion session where people would ask questions and people. So somebody asked a question and some people answered it from the panel, but I was not satisfied because my inside was full. It was a question I was like, I've read about it and I was so excited about it. So I just raised up my hand that, oh, I wanted to talk about that. Then I started talking. I started talking, and everybody just, it was just like a moment where everybody just stopped and everybody just turned to look at me as I was talking. I was not even seeing them. I was just excited because it was a knowledge that I've stored up, and this was
Mhm.
an opportunity to bless people, to tell them about it. And as everybody looked at me and like, after everything, the MC just said, yeah, um, we'll be having another series next week. Our guest speaker at that point he introduced me, and I was like, I've not even accepted your invite. And everybody was clapping. They were so excited because it was talking about the spirit, soul, and the body. And it was just an area I was so excited about. And I talked about it, and I realized, oh, it was learning that brought me that recognition. It was learning that made me, I forgot that I was shy at that point because I was filled.
That's
I was
good.
filled with the knowledge of that. And so I forgot I was shy. I just got the courage. I was just talking.
Right.
And, it was after I talked that I looked around. Oh, was that me? you know, and, so when we learn the fact that, like I said, oh, you've discovered what you can do, you've discovered, but when we learn, when we read, when we watch, when we study, when we listen to others, we build more knowledge, we build more ideas inside of it, we build more, because you can't know it all. You have to learn from others. You have to learn from,
Right.
how do we know about so many good things spiritually? We learn from the Bible. We learn from stories of people in the Bible because we read them and like, oh, this happened to this person, then I can prevent this from happening. So the more we learn, the more when you have something to say, it's not hard to say something. When
Yeah.
you have something to say, but when you don't have anything to say, then what?
What are you gonna
You won't be bold. Yeah, there's a level of knowledge that even Paul mentioned. It says knowledge pops up. When you
say?
know something, there's a level of puffing up. But yeah, well, of course, you have to be careful not to let it puff you up and make you proud, because you might know so much, then you become proud. Then you raise up your shoulders like nobody knows as much as I do, but knowledge, then I also believe the level of knowledge you have, the more you know things, the more you want to know, the more you
Right.
understand you don't know. So for me, I don't think knowing things will puff me up, because the more I'm learning, I'm like, oh, so there's something like this and I didn't even know it before.
Right.
Okay, then I need I need to know more. I need to learn more to know about. So when we learn every day, when we read, when we study, when you watch interviews like this, a lot of things will be dropped into your spirit, into your mind, and you can actually shine, and you can actually be confident, God confident, wherever you find yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is so fun. We are running out of time. And so
Time.
there's eight,
Oh,
yeah, there's eight
eight.
self-mastery secrets.
I'll
We're
just
going
go
to
very
just
fast.
really, right. Let's just go ahead
Yeah.
down right through the whole eight, just one
Yeah.
right after another. You say it, I'll say it again, and then we'll keep
Okay.
going. Then we'll come back and touch on a few of them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
for
number
the
one. Yeah.
number one, understanding yourself, like it's the same thing. It's kind of
Right.
like I've spoken a lot about it in the last
Mhm.
two topics. Understanding yourself, knowing your strengths, your weakness, because you want to master yourself, then you have to understand what am I, where can I be better, what can I do, and all. Then number two, you have to have a goal and a vision. And I always tell people it's actually a topic that looks very out there for a lot of people. It scares people. Like, goal and a vision. What do I even know that I want? I want so many things. And I tell them, okay, write down everything. It doesn't have to be one thing. As you grow, you notice which one you will focus on more. Especially it might be worse for people that are multi-gifted. I'm a multi-gifted person. I can sing, I can write, I can speak. I'm a good administrator. There are so many things I can do, but the fact is that I keep writing them down. What are the goals I need to achieve in this area? Then also, when you write down your goals and vision, you can write it based on areas of your life. I have goals that I have to achieve as a wife. I have goals I want to achieve as a mother. I have goals that I want to achieve in my business. I have goals I want to achieve in my speaking. I have goals I want to achieve in the church, and things like that. It can help you to just, and what does a goal mean? What do I want to achieve at the end of the day? It's as simple as that. So when we hear it, let's not get scared, like, oh, vision, oh, this. No. What do you want to achieve at the end of the day? What do you want to achieve? Okay, I'm raising kids. What do I want my kids to become? That should direct me to get the goal. Then you continually work towards that goal with a broken down plan. You know, keep repeating it until it gets to a level that you already know it. Unconsciously, it comes out of you. There, most of the things we do them unconsciously, and we don't know. For example, if you're driving, if you drive from your office to your house every day, your body, every part of you gets what you do because you have been doing it repetitively. So even if you are not paying attention, there was the day I was leaving my office. I was supposed to go to a friend's house. That was my plan when I left the office. But I got disturbed. I think I was listening to a tape or something in the car, and I was excited. I just kept going. I didn't even know where I was going. But the next thing I saw, I was in my driveway, my home. Why? Because my like the whole body, my hands is used to driving through that path. So it just, even though I was not consciously doing it. So that is why we tell people, when you repeat things, when you do things, it gets to a level that it becomes unconscious. You just find yourself doing it. If you pray every day by a particular time, and that time comes, there's something that would
Yeah.
tickle you, like there's something you have to do, you have not done it. Why? Because you've done it maybe for 30 days, consecutively. So we have to build down a goal, break down the plan, and repetitively do it over and over. If you miss it today, then do it tomorrow. If you miss it tomorrow, then do it, and keep doing it. Then number 4, ignore distractions from people around you, distractions from your own weaknesses, distraction from people who don't believe in you, distractions could come in any other way. Distraction from your goals. You see, when we want to achieve something good, there are other juicy things that comes, but they are actually not in alignment with your goal. So if you don't take time, they take your attention, and you find yourself, you are moving away towards what you want to achieve, and you just focus on that thing. Probably you are just thinking, oh, I want to achieve at social time, I want to be doing this, maybe exercise, I want to lose weight or something, and you focus on that goal. And then you get an invitation that there's going to be a party every week, or there's going to be a meeting where you eat so many things. It's a distraction. The meeting might be a good meeting, but it's a distraction to your goal, because you wanted to watch your diet. And if you go there, you might not have the willpower to say no to the sumptuous meals you will see there. So we should just avoid distraction in any way it can come. Then number 5, we have to choose our thoughts. Mentioned it now that we live from mostly from an unconscious. We just do things that we are used to doing. If you are used to brushing your teeth when you wake up, you won't even ask questions. You just wake up and you feel like a zombie. You go to the bedroom, you brush your teeth, because that's just that's just what you've been doing for years. And well, brushing your teeth is good. Please don't stop. But but what I'm saying is that when you have done something over and over, so why don't you choose your thoughts? Why don't you choose because what you will do is a basic, is just a sum total of what you think of. When you think of something over and over, it becomes a reality to you, and you find yourself doing that thing. So that's why when Jesus was talking about adultery, and somebody was asking Jesus about adultery, that was like, when you even look, you're already seeing it. Why? Because he understood the power of your thoughts. That, oh, if you are already looking, then there's a probability you want to think of it, feast on it, then take that step. So why don't you nip it in the bud? So when I talk about self-mastery, it's about choosing your thoughts. Choosing your thoughts will end up giving you what you will achieve at the end of the day. If you don't choose what you think, you would live what you are thinking, which might not be the good thing. It might not be positive. You might think, oh, I can't do it. Woe is me. I'm not anything. I can't achieve anything. I can't be rich, and you keep putting yourself down by those self-limiting beliefs. And when you don't choose, so how do you choose your thoughts? You choose your thoughts by focusing on, what do I want to achieve at the end of the day? Number two, what are the things that are good for me? What are, the Bible says that we should think on things that what pleasant, that are kind, wonderful. It was there. It listed all the good things. I never saw think of things that are fearful. I never saw things of things that are negative. I never saw anything like that. I just saw things that are positive, things that are of a good report. He said, think on these things. So that is, there was an instruction for us to actually choose our thoughts, to focus on thinking on those things. Then I'll go to listening to your inner self via meditation and deep thought. One of the confusions people have about meditation is that they think meditation is old, just like a voodoo like thing you do. You sit in a certain way and then you wipe out your mind of all thoughts, and but as Christians, there is a definition of meditation from the Bible, which is just focusing. When we talk about meditation, is about regurgitating. Maybe like there are some animals who they eat, they swallow, then bring it back, chew it again, and eat. Like you are chewing on that same thing. So when you want to meditate, and you want to go into deep thought, you choose what you want to think about. Okay, you want to meditate about your finances. You choose where you want to see yourself. You think what you want to do. You imagine where you will be in the next 5 years. You are choosing it. It's not just you are sitting somewhere and making some chants and thinking something will come. No, you choose what you want to focus on. Sometimes when I meditate, I just pick a scripture and I start thinking on it. Probably I just want to meditate about heaven. I pick a scripture that talk about heaven. Oh, God is on the throne. There are seraphims. Okay, how does seraphim looks? I want to think of it that, oh, I'm in heaven. And you pick what you want to focus on, and it gives your mind peace. It gives you peace, and you can. And most of the time I do my meditations in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, most of the time I want to just do my meditation. So sometimes I wake up with a thought. I know I'm going through that line. Sometimes I don't, but I pick something good that I want to focus on. And why? Because all the sum of these things we discover determine what I will achieve at the end of the day. Then the next one, building rituals around your major goals. When you build rituals, what does a ritual mean? It doesn't mean a sacrifice or anything, but it's just something you do. Like I said, repetitiveness. For example, there was a time I wanted to pray more, and I felt, oh, what could I do? So I built a prayer plan at a particular time every day. And I told some people join me during the prayer, and we started doing it. My husband would join me, some other people would join me. When it got to, like, we did it for I think over 50 days, people started getting tired. They started dropping out. But I kept doing it. And sometimes when I'm so tired and I don't want to, I'm like, what if I do it and maybe somebody wants to join? And it now is now a ritual. I can't do without doing it, and it's helping me. So it's not, in fact, sometimes I want to pray, I don't even want people to join so that I can pray on my own. But I use that as a crutch to stand on, because I just noticed if I say I will do it, I don't do it. Okay, what if I invite a group of people and we start together, and they got tired, many of them don't come again, but I still do it because I still have it at back of my, who knows, what if they join and they don't see me? What if they log in and I'm not there, and I'm able to do
Right.
so? Things like that, building rituals around your mega goal. Then lastly, you have to pray for help. When we talk about, oh, I want to do everything, oh, I self-mastery, I want to know myself so that I can achieve well, I want to do everything. There is always a part where prayer will come in. There's always a part you don't know what to do. There's a part you get to that you are confused. There's a part you get to, yourself. There are some things that you achieved in your life, it's not what you've done. It wasn't even your input. You knew that somebody else helped you out. Somebody up there smiled on you. God looked at you and helped you. So we must not ever forget the part of praying, because the more we pray, the more we get the mind of God. The more we pray, the more we start seeing ourselves doing the things God wants. The more we pray, the more our goals change.
Yeah.
That's why I said just start, just write it out. You will cancel it yourself. When when you pray more, you start seeing what is more important. Then all the other things you've written, you can just cancel it, and okay, I think this is what I want to focus on. Why? Because you are opening up your spirit to God, and is investing and putting different ideas in you that might be different from what you want, at the end of the day, and it will help you. Let me stop there because of our time.
We are.
I just keep going and
That's
going.
really good. Yeah. Well, you have just brought us so much good information to think about and
Yay.
to just trust God going forward, but to really step
Mm,
out and to lead in the way
yeah.
that He's called us to lead. So, Ronke,
Mm,
thank you so much. Just great
thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah. And you guys, thank you for joining us. I want to make sure that you know how to get a hold of Ronke. You can reach out to her at her own website at ronketaiwo.com, or
Mm,
also she's a speaker available through womenspeakers.com,
welcome.
and you can just search for her there too. It's so fun to be together. Until
Yeah.
next time, I pray you'll have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next time.